A vigil tonight to remember and honor those who have lost the battle against AIDS and those who are still fighting. Here at home and across the country, people gathered at candlelight vigils tonight to remember victims of AIDS and also to raise awareness about the disease that experts say is becoming more common. 17's Tim Callahan is in our news center tonight with more on how local leaders are stepping up and helping in the cause. Tim?
Tammy, organizers say tonight's candlelight vigil is about reaching younger generations and breaking down barriers and stereotypes about the disease. But those affected by HIV/AIDS say it's also about remembering those who have lost the battle.
We know that
dozens of candles burn bright in downtown Bakersfield, each candle lit to remember a victim of AIDS. Hundreds are diagnosed with the disease each year as thousands fight for their lives here in Kern County.
It's still here. It's still here, and it's still a killer. I mean, people are still dying from it, and people are still catching it.
That's why organizers with the Bakersfield AIDS Project say it's vital to stop the disease in its tracks.
Well, I think it's important that we show global unity in the fight against AIDS, and of course December 1st is World AIDS Day. But for families like myself, every day is World AIDS Day. We live with the reality that this disease has stolen a life that we loved very much.
Audrey Chavez lost her brother to the disease and hopes her pain and sadness will serve as a wake-up call to others.
You know, I see my brother in other people, and being able to help those people to learn their status, to improve communication, to be compassionate to a family member that they may have that's positive is so important.
And it just, my heart stopped, and everything stopped, and we just sobbed. We sobbed.
Bakersfield City Councilwoman Jackie Sullivan lost her daughter to AIDS nearly 15 years ago and hopes she can make a difference for just one family.
I'm honoring and remembering my daughter that died 15 years ago. It can happen, it can happen in any family. So we have to, help to protect our children.
Experts say nearly 3,000 people live with HIV/AIDS in Kern County, but say it's preventable by learning about how it's spread.
Volunteers with the Bakersfield AIDS Project will be hosting a benefit dinner. The Enchanted Winter Ball will be held at the Red Lion Hotel on Sunday, December 14th. Tickets are $50 a person, and all proceeds will go to the Bakersfield AIDS Project. For more information, you can call Jenny at 587-1265. Meantime, volunteers with the Bakersfield AIDS Project say they plan to visit area high schools and talk to young people about the dangers of HIV/AIDS. And if you would like more information about events here locally, you can log on to their website. That's bakersfieldaidsproject.org.
Members of the Bakersfield AIDS Project have made a mark today by taking its message to the streets in southwest Bakersfield. Staff members, volunteers, and board members held up signs and passed out educational flyers around the state. And today in the Southwest, organizers put out a quilt display at the Green Lawn Cemetery in remembrance of those who have lost their lives to AIDS. The foundation wants people to remember thousands of Californians and millions around the world still living with the disease.
And many of these have been sewn together with love and tears and laughter and memories of the lives that they represent.
That, of course, was Audrey Chavez. The display will continue for the next 2 weeks from 12 until 6. The AIDS Foundation develops prevention programs and policy initiatives to promote good health and create progress against HIV.
Well, Chris, it's a daily struggle for those in our community who have AIDS and HIV, as well as their families. Tonight, they're remembering those who have died from the illness and are hoping for a cure. A march of solidarity through the streets of downtown Bakersfield tonight as those hoping for a cure to AIDS are remembering World AIDS Day.
I know that there are numerous people here tonight who know what it's like to feel the frustration of a loved one being HIV positive and not being able to provide the cure for them.
The AIDS epidemic has had a devastating impact on Kern County, killing more than 650 people. Several people who were at the vigil are currently battling HIV/AIDS, hoping for a cure and that others learn about the disease.
Get tested because it only takes once. I've been infected 14 years.
I am the face of AIDS.
More than 1,800 people in Kern County are living with AIDS. Another 860 are HIV positive, and that has left a big impact on their families and friends.
What is most important is to prevent this disease from spreading. There's so much information available, but people are still getting infected and people are still dying.
People are hoping leaders continue to advocate for advances in the fight against AIDS and are hoping young people prevent getting infected.
We need to be able to embrace them and to encourage them to take care of themselves, to protect themselves, and to know that HIV and being aware and educated and caring of ourselves is important.
Now, if you want to honor the memory of those in Bakersfield who have died of AIDS, the local AIDS quilt will still be on display until December 13th. It will be at Green Lawn Southwest Cemetery on Panama Lane. Live in the newsroom, Felix Rodriguez-Lima, ABC 23 News.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of World AIDS Day, and locally, Kern County commemorated the day, starting with the reading of names of those who lost their lives because of the disease. This is the second year that Green Lawn Southwest Cemetery has partnered with the Bakersfield AIDS Project to host the event. The showing of the AIDS quilt is to raise awareness of the disease and of those who have lost their battle against AIDS.
People to see that lives locally in Kern County have been touched by this disease. I think that it's important, especially for the younger generation, for them to see that AIDS is in fact a disease that we still do need to be worried about. There are so many young.
The panels from the AIDS quilt will be on display from noon until 6 p.m. every day until December 13th at Green Lawn Southwest Cemetery on Panama Lane. A candlelight vigil will follow this evening at 7 at the Liberty Bell on Truxtun Avenue in downtown Bakersfield. Guest speakers will include family members of local people who died of AIDS. There are more than 3,000 people living with the disease in Bakersfield.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of World AIDS Day.
And that's what tonight's about. It's about awareness, it's about global unity and commemoration.
Several events were held to raise awareness of the disease and those who have lost their battle with AIDS. A candlelight vigil was held this evening at the Liberty Bell on Truxtun Avenue. Guest speakers included family members of local people who died of AIDS. There are more than 3,000 people living with the disease in Bakersfield.